Yes, everybody, Russ on the West End Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. It's time to get Chesney Hawkes video playing.
Hey guys, this is Chesney Hawkes here. You are watching My Hammers 11 with the one and only Russ.
Yes, Chesney is on. When Chesney is on, you know we have My Hammers 11. Obviously, we haven't been on for a while. I think the last time we had Yoshi Benayoun on a few weeks ago, and we've got some hopefully some really good ex-Hammers coming up in the next few weeks. But obviously, we like to bring on fans as well, and fans, particularly ones who are in sort of in sort of the public eye, so to speak. And we've got some now for a large percentage of you. You probably don't know what TikTok is. Let's be honest. But for quite a big percentage now, a growing percentage, you know what TikTok is. We obviously Alex comes on and does his TikTok takeovers on Tuesday. But we've got Paul here. Now, you probably don't know him by the name Paul, in all honesty, but you probably know him as part of the duo. Puwtok, 740.3 thousand followers. Fucking hell, Paul. Anyway, let's bring him in because not only is he 740.3 million, not million, but thousand followers, but also he's a hammer. And that's what all matters today. Let's bring him in. Let's bring Paul in. 740,000. What?
Yeah, don't ask me how that happened. You get stitched up by one of your daughters or one of your sons. That's what happens. And the rest is history.
Exactly. Yeah. How did that happen? Because it's, as I said, I mean, my daughter, she's 12, and she everything I do frustrates her. Everything I do annoys her. But
yes,
you and your daughter particularly, but you and your daughter particularly have managed to get 740,000 people to follow you on TikTok.
Well, this is just after COVID. Phoebe stitched me up. I'm quite a gullible person, a bit like my mum, I'm afraid. Believe most things, and I'll stick with that. But yeah, she stitched me up, and it all happened very organically, and it sort of went a bit viral. This TikTok she did, and I wasn't on social media or anything like that at all, so I've had to sort of get used to that in the first sort of 6 months, and then it's sort of progressed now, sort of 2 years on, and we've been doing loads of stuff just that we do for fun, and people seem to really like it. There's some lovely messages from people, which has sort of spurred me on to get into the modern world of TikTok and Instagram, which I still don't know how to do. So the followers mainly, I think my little bit of content perhaps are mainly the hard work from Phoebes. But yeah, that's where we are. And to be honest, really enjoying it now. Now I've sort of got my head around it all. And we're bringing a few smiles here and there, it seems.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, obviously, it's... hashtag life goals, isn't it? To have that relationship with your sons and daughters like that, and it's lovely to see.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've got 2 other daughters and a son, so they've kept themselves right out of it.
so they haven't got involved. But she's managed to wangle the old man in.
It's just Phoebe. She's the last one in that living here, you see, with me and my wife, so she can catch me out. Whereas they've all flown the nest and they're on their way. So we do it. We've done the odd family bit here and there. Just to sort of pull them in, but yeah, they're quite happy to let Phoebe do all the graft.
and we know there is a lot of graft.
There is a lot of graft you don't see, but she enjoys it really, and it's nice to be able to do it with her. So we're just in the moment at the time, and done a few bits. Obviously, been to a few of the games. Took Phoebe to the first game this season. So yeah, all good.
What's it like taking your daughter to the first game at West Ham?
Oh, it was. I mean, she did go when she was 10. I took her to Upton Park. So it's been a while because she's coming up to 24 now. But yeah, we didn't have the best start in the game, but we enjoyed the day, and she enjoyed the atmosphere and everything else like that. So it was nice to actually go there with her on that day.
Did you get spotted?
We did, which happens now and again. And actually, some of the lads come up and some of the girls' supporters there come up, and they really wanted a little chat. Believe it or not, a photograph, which, well, I'm not famous, but quite happy to do that. We had our shirts on. So, yeah, we had a cracking day. We spread the love a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, representing. And it's weird. It's weird now. You're probably right. Yeah, from TikTok onwards, like this whole sort of new generation of celebrity, really. And it's just people doing what they normally do day in, day out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of them. A lot of the things she's asked me to do, the trends and that, I must admit, have confused me, which is easy to do. But if it's all in a good spirit and fairly wholesome family stuff, we do it. And yeah, I mean, it's new to me, but it's quite a powerful thing for messaging and sort of even with brands and things like that. It's a big way of them advertising now. So yeah, I'm learning every day.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a lot more that sort of UGC content. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. You got to think where we were. It's a pre-COVID. Like
Yeah,
you wouldn't. I mean, yourself probably never would have assumed you'd be doing
not at all.
companies and things like that.
Absolutely not. And as long as it lasts, as long as we can sort of bring a few smiles and enjoy ourselves, we're going to try and sort of let everybody see what we're doing and share all of that. Yeah, just keep it going as long as I can with her until she moves out, I suppose, next year.
Yeah, then you'd be redundant.
Sure
Then nothing to do.
I'll be sacked. No, I'm sure we can get together.
So as you said, obviously Phoebes came along for West Ham when she was younger. But obviously yourself, you've got the shirt, you've got the scarf in the background. West Ham fan. Why West Ham, Paul? Why West Ham?
And I will refer to my little scribbles if you don't mind.
Love it, love it.
But yeah, my love for the club all started from my dad, who was Chadwell Heath, and my granddad Bob, who unfortunately he died when he was quite young, unfortunately. So we lost him when I was only about 7 or 8. But he was from Poplar near Isle of Dogs, and he chose West Ham and not Millwall. So think of that as you will. So obviously the love came from there, and he took me to, we think it was Ilford Market, to get my first shirt when I was about 7. And and some boots as well, and it all sort of started from there. I used to try and play football, but I'm more of I'm better at watching really than playing, but love the sport. So yeah, that's where it all sort of started. And my father-in-law actually, believe it or not, is from Chadwell Heath as well. So he's West Ham. So hence my wife was West Ham. So it all sort of gelled together. Yeah, and I've still got some family still in the area that are all West Ham. So that's where it all really started. Yeah. All them years ago.
Yeah, not too many years ago, surely, Paul. Not too many years ago.
Well, it's over 50 years ago.
Wow.
I'm near 60.
Well, it's one of those things. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, we've done, I reckon, over. I mean, obviously, I started doing the YouTube like during COVID, and then I think never really sort of, It was more of a like a pastime, because obviously
because you couldn't really do a lot. Yeah,
we'd watched Tiger King. We'd watched that. We'd watched everything. Do you remember Tiger King? That was a thing 3 years ago, wasn't it? Tiger King.
I think he's somewhere else now, isn't he? Is he?
Yeah, he's detained by her, not Her Majesty, by
the authorities. But amazing guy. But we all watched that and all the other
exactly,
Netflix.
And it was done, and everything was done. I mean, Netflix, expansion Netflix. But exactly. that was done, and
so you got into YouTube.
Yes, I got into YouTube, and I think we've probably done close to about 500 interviews, if not more than 500 interviews with fans. We've had over 100 ex-players on the channel as well. And with the fans particularly, it's, I reckon, bar probably a handful, it's all family.
Yeah.
And it's all family related.
Yeah, I think you often, obviously, when you speak, I've got friends who support other teams, other clubs, and you've all got your own club. But most of the time, it's come from that sort of family history. And when I'm at the games, it's weird, but I do think about my granddad. I do, because that's where it all sort of started. And he obviously never got to see. I've got some of his old programs.
Love it. Brilliant.
With his handwriting on that I managed to get. But he's actually changed some of one of the players. He's put, instead of Frank Lampard, he's put Locke in his handwriting there.
Kevin Locke. There you go.
So I'll keep all that there. But so I do think of him when we sing our song, and I think a lot of people, it's come through the family generally, unless maybe some of the sort of younger generation, it was more the clubs that were winning at a certain time when they were young, really young, and they went into, maybe the Man Uniteds and perhaps the Arsenals and Liverpools, that sort of thing. But a lot of my sort of generation, it seems to be passed down through the family, and that's your team, so I'm quite fortunate that most of the people in the family are West Ham. So whereas some families have got some real difficulties when their two teams are playing.
They do,
But,
they do indeed.
yeah,
We've very well, from us, so my dad and my mum, they were both from West Ham families, and
sure.
obviously I married my wife, and she's from a West Ham
So there
family.
you go.
So
Another example.
literally
Yeah.
no one, but we're in that
Yeah.
area. It's either going to be West Ham or Tottenham.
Well,
Loughton,
that's true.
Hornchurch, Romford. So
Exactly. Yeah, there's big support from Essex and there with West Ham, and I've always thought West Ham are a good team and club to follow as a good example of life, because life can be up, down, in the middle. So yeah, I think it's good for character building as a West
it
Ham
is.
supporter.
That's what I say. It's
Yeah.
character building. It's character building.
Yeah.
Particularly when I remember my daughter's first proper West Ham game was a few years ago when we lost to Newcastle. I think it was 5-1 or 6-0 at home.
Oh dear. Yeah.
And she was like, "Why'd you do this, Dad?"
Yeah,
And I was like,
this is punishment.
"I don't know. I'm a sadist. I don't know." But
yeah, well, it's what we do, isn't it? It's what we do, and
it is.
other supporters have the same thing with their clubs as well. But yeah, it's a special thing, West Ham, really, and I know I can, for you, 100%. So yeah, I actually dug out my. I think I spoke to my dad because he's still about, fortunately, and I've actually got I think this was my first game.
Oh, I bet you asking about that. So that's good. What is it? Norwich City?
Oh, sorry, have I jumped?
No, go for it. No, just go for it.
Slow me down. Yeah, it was Norwich City, 1976.
Nice.
At Upton Park, and unfortunately, I think Norwich nicked it by a goal. But I think that might be my first game when I was 10. So yeah, we keep these little memoirs.
Yeah, as I always think. I think it was my first game. I remember West Ham conceding in the first 30 seconds.
Oh.
And I remember, I can close my eyes and remember it clear as day. My granddad turned to me and went, "You've got this for a lifetime. Get used to it." And I didn't believe in them.
No,
didn't believe in them.
Yeah, he was telling the truth.
He was.
Would we change it? We wouldn't change it.
No, we wouldn't change it. Even now, as we said before we started, obviously we're going through a strange time at the moment. There's a lot of disenfranchised, disheartened sort of fans, but that's why I love exactly, and that's why I like doing these interviews, because it sort of just recenters me a little bit and gets me back into what supporting West Ham is all about.
Sure, yeah, it's not just. I mean, great if we're getting the results, and obviously, any support would like to be winning every time, but it's just, I think, when I think about the last couple of years, how well we did, and obviously there was some people were against it, some people for it, but generally speaking, I think the club's done amazing, and to get the trophy. I watched that up at a golf club with my mate that we go to West Ham together, and yeah, just to see us winning with Jared scoring at the end, how amazing was that? So you're sort of hoping a springboard into this season hopefully will come, and obviously we will get a little bit more of that sort of feeling back if possible, but stating the obvious really, but yeah, you do have these peaks and troughs, yeah.
You do, and I think the trouble with peaks and troughs is, and I was saying to my wife, not to do West Ham, but just life in general. You don't necessarily know when you're in a peak until you go into a trough. You're thinking, actually, that was really good, because now it's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been in some troughs.
Many a trough.
Yeah, you get more lows than highs, but you just got to keep munching, as I say, keep going.
Yeah, that's what we try. Exactly, that's what we try and do. Obviously, I like to talk about context and stuff. And football's obviously, even more with social media now, it's very much a knee-jerk reaction. Managers can get sacked on one performance, whereas nowadays, back in the day, you look at when you were watching a lot of football at West Ham, John Lyle got relegated twice, didn't he, and stuff like that. What would he have done if he was a manager now?
Exactly. I mean, I've got him down. Actually, I've got him in my programs from really what I relate back to when I was growing up, sort of, getting into a teenager, and it was always John Lyle, who I just thought he looked the part. He was just brilliant. But now you look at, because of the money and everything's involved, do they get enough time to put their stamp on things? I don't know, because it's such a ruthless sort of business, it seems to me, that you get a few months and then you could be gone. And the contracts they've got, it doesn't always hurt them financially when they do go. It's completely different to obviously what we sort of grew up with, and I don't know whether something in the middle would be better. But it's a big business now, football, big money, isn't it? So
it is.
you know,
It is.
owners want results.
And it makes me laugh when they talk about football being a business. And, in any other business, if a team doesn't perform, you get rid of the boss tends to go as well, but they get rid of some of the workers as well. But that never happens with football. It's like the players stay, but the head coach manager leaves. And I always found that a bizarre concept.
It can't always be down to the manager every time, can it? It's a team thing, isn't it? So, like you say, we're getting into. I haven't got the knowledge on it, but you're right. In a business, it wouldn't just be the manager. The manager might stay, and it might be some of the team that go that are at fault. But football, it's a different thing. It's changed a lot, hasn't it?
It's a funny old game.
Funny old game, but
even more funny.
Life would be boring without it.
It would be. I think lockdown proved that. I think lockdown. And again, we were coming. You got to think. I know it's a long time ago, but West Ham were in a period which was in a real sort of a bit similar to where we are now. I think in terms of that sort of
position,
and just feeling. And then lockdown came on, and then everyone sort of reinvigorated their love for football again because they didn't have it. And when you don't have it, when someone takes it away.
That's right. Yeah, it's the old saying. I don't know what you got till you haven't got it till you miss it. But and then we sort of came back and we really started rocking and rolling, and everybody was just pleased to get out again and support and do the normal things. But I mean, let's hope we don't get COVID again. Oh, mind you, I wouldn't be doing this probably. If it
I tell you what, the old views would go back up, Paul, won't they? If they did.
Let's bring COVID back. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. There's the quote. But no, totally. It's just I think things like that. You don't necessarily know what you've got till it's gone, as you said. And I think that's why I like doing these things
have been
nostalgic stuff.
Go
back on stuff.
Yeah, I think it's good to look back because we did have some really good times in things, and although the game's completely different and the whole thing is different, it's nice to sort of reflect back on. This has made me think of the sort of players and that I used to watch that stick in my mind from those days. So it's you're right. It's good to go back and nostalgic. Yeah.
And that's why we still. I mean, as I said, we've had over 100 ex-players on the channel, and when you listen to the story, as I said, we had Joshy Ben-Oon on the other day, who's
right.
No one's heard of for years.
He was with us. Yeah, he was with us for a while, wasn't he?
He was lovely guy, really nice guy, and you get, and there's certain players that we've been for, obviously, as the guys we interview quite a lot, but there's some sort of round, like the likes of Yoshi, Sebastian Schemmel, who was right, we had 2 seasons under Harry, and people like that, and they just, and I go to obviously the ex-player nights, and we had like Ginger Pele and stuff talking, and Anton Ferdinand, and you realise how much the club means to them as well, and I think that's sometimes a bit of a disparaging now. We don't necessarily, back in the day, I'm sure some of the players we're going to talk about, with you in a minute in terms of your 11s, were very much, you thought they were fighting for the badge, that type of thing. Where nowadays, because it's footballers flitter away after 2 or 3 years, you don't get that sense of connection anymore now. Which is a shame.
I mean, obviously, it is a shame. Obviously, Mark Noble sort of stands out from the crowd with his time with the club, doesn't he? And it's quite a rare thing now, I think, to see that over that period of time. But I sort of I went to the Tony Carr. There was the academy, Tony Carr. And there was like a testimonial at Upton Park, and I'm sure you'd have been there. And basically, they brought back quite a few of the players that obviously West Ham had let go when they were young, and released them, and as they do, and it was amazing. Who was there? You had Rio Ferdinand, Frank Lampard, there's Joe Cole. It was just a really good night, and I think I'm pretty sure Di Canio was there actually.
He played both. He was only meant to play it. He only meant to play a half, and he ended up playing the whole game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but you realise how many players have come through the academy and then gone on to, for their other clubs, England players. What team we would have had if they'd all stayed? You don't know.
Mental. We had when we had Tony, obviously we've had Tony on a few times, and when we did his My Hammers 11, he picked the players and 11 of the players he coached at the academy, and pretty much it was the 2010 World Cup squad.
Was it really?
It pretty much was. So obviously, because
Wow.
John Terry came through our books at a young level,
That's right.
Rio
Yeah.
was there, Lampard was there, Joe Cole, Carrick, Defoe, and it was Glenn Johnson, and it was literally, it
The
was
England squad.
crazy,
Yeah, you
crazy, man.
forget actually the players that have come through, don't you? And
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a memory, a bit like a sieve. And my mate, he knows all the players, where they've moved, where they've transferred from, and who we've bought. I sort of have to play catch up. I can't hold it in, but yeah, it does remind you of the players that have come through West Ham, and what a good academy, a great academy that we've got. And I don't know if I could read up a bit more. To find out a bit more about the academy and the good work
What you
they
need
do,
to do, Paul, is you need to watch the Academy show, which is the only YouTube, which we do every Monday, half an hour, and it gives you
Lovely.
what's happened and where all the players, and it gives you so you'll have all the knowledge, and you'll be able to tell your mate all the stuff about the Academy.
I'll have to write it all down. That's the only
and you go, actually, Bob.
yes,
Callum's playing really well for Huddersfield Town at the moment, and scored
I'll
at the
be flicking
weekend.
through my pages of notes.
Exactly. Let me just tell you about Patrick Kelly.
Page 100. No, I shall have to do that. Yeah,
yeah, because it's really important. I mean, I think the Academy is, again, we go back and talk about nostalgia, and
Sure.
A feed that goes through is the Academy, and it's a really important part. Even more so now, where the Academy is, because of money, the likelihood of getting an Academy player to go into the first team is a lot less than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But those ones that do make it are extra special. And we've got some really good players, really good players in 21 stages.
I mean, it's just, again, through the TikTok thing, I do occasionally get recognised on the train, bits and pieces, or in the supermarket if I've got my glasses on. And I'm more than happy to have a chat. I like a chat. And I was actually been to the game. It was the Ipswich game, which was a good one for us. Sorry, Ipswich, but it was a good one. And then I sat on the train, and there was a girl sitting opposite. She said, "Oh, I know you. I've seen you with your daughter." I said, "Oh yeah, on the TikTok." She actually works for. She's quite high up, actually. Lovely girl. She works for the West Ham Academy.
Nice.
And she was chatting to me about the foundation, and it's still, I think, still run from Chadwell Heath. Is it the? Yeah. So she said we'd have a lovely chat on the way back on the train. And she'd been away to America, actually, where the football was becoming a massive sport out there, isn't it? And she'd been away with some of the players. And she's doing some amazing work. And she's working 7 days a week, And just a bit of luck that we got chatting, and she actually works for the academy there. So I was,
there's loads of that. It's great. There's so many people. Obviously, I'm heavily involved with the academy on match days and stuff, and there's so many good people there who, there's a lot. And what I like about the academy is there's a lot of old West Ham in there. So you've got under 21s coached by Mike Robson with Steve Potts as the assistant.
Yeah, Potts. Yeah.
You've got Kevin Keen's involved with the 18s and 21s. You've got Colton involved, Zavon Hines involved, Kenny Brown's obviously the academy manager. Obviously, Mark, as we know, Mark Noble is sort of the conduit between the first team and the academy.
That's right. Yeah.
You've got Mark Phillips, who's a massive West Ham fan, who's involved in the coaching setup. And there's so many West Ham boys there. It's really, really, really nice to see.
It's good. I'll have to tap into that on the Mondays. I'll have to tap into
Mondays,
that,
6 o'clock.
100%.
And so, although it's going to be international break in it coming into the weekend,
sure.
So I think they've got one more game so probably not the week after. But anyway, Let's get on to talk about your Hammers 11. So as I said, everyone we get on the channel, the idea is they put together their 11, and so and the only rule is you have to sort of have been alive to see him play. The reason being, otherwise we'd have all put Bobby Moore. And I never saw Billy Bonds play. He was sort of just when I started was probably early 90s, so I missed that era.
That era, of course, totally different game, of course, and different
exactly.
And, I've actually bumped into him a couple of years ago. I didn't approach him, so I wouldn't do that. But he was in Blue Water having scrambled eggs with his wife in the shopping centre there, and he still looks a unit.
Bill is. I mean, we had he's someone because he sort of Billy Bonds is one of those really unique people in that he hasn't got a telephone, he hasn't got a mobile.
No, I think he keeps himself right off.
Keeps us right off grid, and so it's almost like you get sort of because there was talk of him not being very well, but someone also saw him in Blue Water or Lakeside or someone like that. and had a chat, and then that got filtered through social media that he's okay, that
Yeah,
type of
this was
thing.
a few years ago. I saw him there, but I did go to at the Chelmsford Civic Theatre. Trevor Brooking and Billy did a thing on the stage there, and he's very modest, and he just keeps himself to himself, and proper gent, but what a hard, tough player. Yeah,
he was.
But it was good listening to them. But
what we need to do, Paul, is we'll get you down to Romford for some of these player nights.
That's
We have them
just
all the
down
time.
the road. Yeah.
Oh, I'm in Hornchurch, so we'll get you down the road. We're going to get you down. We go. There's good ones. E13 events. Come with me. I'll get you in for free. E13 events in Romford in the Rust Centre are very good. And then you've got Malderville Promotions at Dagger and Redbridge. They do player nights with Pie and Mash. And we'll exchange details later, Paul, and I'll keep sort that out because they're great nights.
Fantastic.
The last time we went to was the Jimmy Walker. Jimmy Walker had a book launch, but the book wasn't ready.
Oh.
And only book launch.
What did you launch?
Fuck all, to be honest, Paul. He just launched, So and then it ended up.
Yeah,
it was good fun.
I'll back. Me and Phoebe had to do something. I won't say who with or whatever, but this was a launch, a big launch, and the actual main item wasn't there.
Yeah.
But it did get there in the end. So
didn't surprise me. But it did end up. The Jimmy Walker night did end up with me and Jimmy and a few other boys in Yates's about 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, so okay. Yeah, that's
it
fine.
was. So it was funny.
Yeah,
it was.
You had a good.
And it was funny because they said that because it's like I don't go out very often, and I went to the bar. I went up to the doorman, and they went, "Do you have ID?" And I went, "I'm not being funny."
Yeah.
I've got no hair, I'm quite clearly over the age of 20. Exactly. And I said, actually, I do. So I have my ID. And they went to Jimmy and they said, have you got any ID? He goes, no. But I did save a penalty against Frank Lampard once. And she was like, what? I don't like to talk about it. And this woman was like, looked blankly. And he went, okay. It was a dark night.
Yeah.
Fog goes over the shed end. And it was so funny, honestly.
Crazy.
I loved it. But that's what you got with players of that sort of a certain era onwards. I think we've lost that now in terms of that sort of.
Yeah, I think you find in other sports as well, though. It's the characters. I like a little bit of fun golf. Too serious now, but a lot of the characters that I used to watch in golf growing up, and they used to do that program with I think it was with Bruce Forsyth and all that, where the golf was played with them. You sort of lost the characters with some of the sportsmen now that you can't really relate to them. It's a bit robotic,
Exactly. It's very sterile in that respect, I think. And it's not just that. You're right. Snooker. I mean, and then people who do have personality are vilified. So, like Ronnie gets vilified, or or Jack Grealish in football gets vilified.
But they've got the character.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's strange. It's strange. We
Winds
could do a
up.
little bit of that back. But
okay.
So
right, goalkeeper. Who's in goal? Okay. Starting goal. Campbell.
Starting goal, and I have seen these players, but this has really tested me a bit. Phil Parkes.
Nice. Legend. What a lovely man.
I think he had 146 clean sheets from my little stats book, I believe.
Mental. What a mental. What mental.
And I'll share this one with you if you don't mind.
Go for it.
He signed a little thing for me for a friend of mine who's good friends with him. So I've got to frame that little one.
The size of his hands. What absolutely unit of a man.
His hands would be in an 8x6 frame, I think, picture frame.
Oh, he's
unit. But for me, Phil Parkes, and I've got in second position in number 2, Ray Stewart.
Yeah. Oh, he's one of my favourite men of all time. Okay. I love Tonka. Tonka is the most because he obviously. I mean, I work at the club and I see them. Sure. I see him every other match day. And considering he's come down from Dundee or wherever he comes from,
really? Wow.
Yeah, he's an absolute phenomenal man, and he's so nice. He's such a lovely guy.
Look at the shirt there. Wow.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing, even seeing like a picture like that, it just obviously I wasn't around to see that era, but it takes people back and they remember where they are. They remember.
Yeah.
Boys of '86, they remember all that type of stuff, and
it's all part of why you support the club, I suppose. And obviously, these are sort of players I sort of grew up watching. Now, as you can tell, I am no manager, so I may have doubled up in positions here.
Doesn't matter.
I don't think my manager is under threat from me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I've put Julian Dix in there.
Oh, what a lovely man! Yeah, I put
because
Dixie on the left-hand side.
it's
What a
good for
top.
penalties. He's good for penalties. Yeah,
Well,
you'll be.
so's Tonka, really. They'll have a
Well,
fight,
yeah,
won't they?
yeah. I might say I may have dabbled up on positions, but I thought I'm just going to go with my heart. And
Go
I've
for
got
it.
number 4. You're going to guess who that might be. Is Billy Bonds.
Yeah. What a lovely
Put
man.
Bondsy in there.
What was obviously, fortunate enough that now we've got a stand named after him, and
Yes, that's right.
and it's
We,
I think
we was there when he came out, actually. Yeah,
top man.
to see it, which was
It's
really great.
really emotional. That was, wasn't it? I
It
thought it was a
was, and
really
we all
emotional day.
held up the. Obviously, West Ham put a bag on the seat and
Yeah,
held it up, and it was very emotional. Yeah, especially having
and
seen
it's
him played. Yeah,
yeah, and it's just someone who's, as you said, because he was such a hard man, to
sure.
see him cry on the
I know.
pitch was a really
Yeah,
strange. But again, what we're saying, clearly
love
love the club. So
loves the club, and it was, to be fair, it was an honour to actually cry with him. To be honest, from your
yeah,
seat, there wasn't a dry
no,
eye there. And
no,
we actually, my mate Clive, who goes a bit more than I can at the moment. That's where we sit there, So yeah, that was great for Bonzi,
nice.
and privileged to have seen him. And I did bump into Alvin at Liverpool Street many years ago, but I just Alvin Martin.
Lovely man, lovely man. We
Yeah,
surround
I think he's
again.
lost his hair now. Has he lost his
He
hair? I
has.
think so.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
He's
This is
what?
a wig, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What I loved about Alvin is he's one of those players who wasn't from around these parts,
No.
but as I said, very much still around these parts.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
grandson went to my daughter's primary school, and so you'd
Oh,
see him
really?
do the school run, which was always a bizarre,
Wow.
or man
Wow.
a stall at the summer fete,
Oh,
and
really? They got him dragged into like the
of
coconut shy or something.
course they did, yeah, Coconut Shire, Tombola, but again, a man that epitomised the club, and actually, looking through it, the guys you picked already, most of them had at least had one, if not two, testimonials.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
again, as you said, Mark Noble being an exception to the rule in the modern day
Of
now, having
course.
that.
Yeah, he's. I mean, there's so many players when you look through that you could say, oh, well, I'll put them in there because we've had so many
Of
great players.
course,
But I've sort of gone with
got me
who I
heart.
grew up with up to about
Yeah.
certain age. So, and this was a player that I used to love watching, that you don't see so much now, taking on players, dribbling through players. Alan Devonshire
Oh, best $5,000
with the
ever
long
spent.
hair. Yeah, that's right. We will have him back. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, what
yeah.
would what would his value be now? Do you know what I mean? It's
Oh,
like,
could you imagine how these players would play in the new game? Would be interesting. But I think he was managing a club not far from us, actually, in Essex, Braintree way at one
yeah,
point, I think.
I think he's
But
at Maidenhead now. But
Maidenhead, yeah, I used to love watching Devonshire. There he is.
there
Yeah,
he is, old
the
Alan.
old tash. Look, he's got the old
But that
70s
was,
hairstyle.
but obviously, yeah, exactly. But obviously, again, you see the difference between the modern day player and sort of the player of that era. Obviously, he had that
Yeah,
massive injury, came back and almost had
yeah,
to reinvent himself as a player. And
yeah, yeah,
nowadays, footballers are a lot of them are quite one dimensional. If you took
yeah,
someone's
yeah, yeah.
pace away, what are they
Yeah,
going to be? It's literally this. That's what they do. That's all
that's
they
what they
do.
do,
So
yeah. And obviously back then, I don't think they had all of the equipment and knowledge they've got
no.
now with the injuries. So it just shows you how strong they were coming back. But as you say, yeah, he was a great player to watch as I was growing up. I'm not sure how this all fits, but I've got to put
Don't
him in
matter.
because
We'll make it work, Paul. We'll
don't
make it
make it
work.
work. We'll make it work. I've got a load of people in the
Yeah.
squad, if not on the sub bench. Yeah, this was a joy to watch him basically evolve before he left us. Was Declan Rice.
Yes, Declan Rice.
Oh,
No, I think we sort of get into that. There seems to be like a certain cut-off point where the animosity goes and the
yeah,
appreciation begins.
yeah,
And I think, to be perfectly honest, I miss him more now than I missed him
yes,
last year.
yeah. I think our midfield is not quite gluing, gelling.
No,
As it was, and he
I
was a big
agree.
part of that, wasn't he? Big part of that.
And
It was
I
just
think we've
yeah. Sorry.
no, go on, carry on. You carry on, man. You carry on.
No, it's just I wanted to pop him in because we sort of saw him evolve through the years, and he just got better and better each season. And we all knew that he was going to make a move.
Yeah.
obviously the price was just amazing. So you know, the club's got to do what they've got to do, and we didn't want him to go, but you just think, well, you know, you got to take the money, and we've enjoyed watching him. But it's just the fact that he got better and better, and his work ethic was I sort of flicked back to Scotty Parker. You know, he used to come off the pitch sweating, just 110% in every game. And sort of Declan to me was that sort of player for us. You know,
I think you're right. I think we definitely missed that sort of that midfield like emphasis, that midfield drive, which we don't have now. And I remember, sometimes I remember Deck almost some games pulling his socks off and went, "Fuck it, I'm going to do it myself." And would go on one of those sort of almost like when Billy Bonds used to do those sort of those bombing runs forward.
That's
and
just spur everybody on, and he done that on a few games, Declan, didn't he? And I thought without him on the pitch, you know, we was struggling. So and obviously he's moved on now, but it was a joy to see him play at the stadium and that, you know. And I have to say I've got a little bit of a soft spot for our captain at the minute, Jared Bowen. So we need him in there somewhere.
You got to put, you have to put him. I'm going to move it. Yeah, we'll put back. Let's put Bowen on the left hand side.
You've got some moving around. You know,
I think Bowen. I think he's got that. He's got that potential to. Do you like him as captain?
I'm not sure whether it's quite fitting. I sort of see why he was picked for that role. I'm not really sure what other choices they had, but I get what you mean. It's probably under the surface, maybe not quite the right move, but his commitment every game to the club. Exactly. I know he's perhaps not quite where he will get to as he was just at this minute, but that might be other things going on. But I just think he's great for us, great for the club, and signed up for some years, I think. Am I right?
I think it's a 7-year deal. So
hopefully, that's there.
And he ain't going to go anywhere, is he, Paul? To be honest, I've been funny because Christmas dinner at the Dyer household. If he moved to, exactly, innit? It's like he'll be shunned, wouldn't he? He'd be on that. He'll be on the shit seat. You know, like when you have all the family round, you get like the put me up seat. He'll be on that one.
Exactly. No, I mean, he'd be a silly man if he moved away from there.
Exactly.
So, I think he's settled. Again. You might have to look at me subs bench, but a player that I absolutely loved watching at Upton Park for maybe 2 seasons. Some of the things he did on the pitch I'd never seen before was Dimitri Payet. Not sure how we're going to make him work.
Don't worry.
11, but players that I've just I thought he was just something else. With some of the moves and the free kicks and just everything, just the flair and the excitement. And being at Upton Park with the atmosphere there, I think that was quite a special time.
Yeah, it was
for us while he was there. So
I think also with someone like Dimitri Payet, I mean, it doesn't happen very often where we buy players just when they're in their peak. I mean, he's probably the 2 years he had at West Ham were probably the best in his career, and that never really happens. I always call us a bookend club. We either get players right at the beginning or at the end. And not using he was like, I mean, when's the next time we're going to get a Ballon d'Or nominated player in our side?
Well, hopefully we will see that. Not sure.
Hopefully, maybe Kudus if he stayed around for a little bit.
We will see. But he was just, he was a tough. I think did he go to Marseille after that? Was it Marseille?
Went to Marseille, and now he's playing and now he's at Vasco da Gama in Brazil.
Right, yeah. Well, as you say, we did have a good 18 months there. Just some of the moves he done were more like body popping with a football. It was just
amazing.
Amazing. Okay, now I've got to put this man in because of the goal he scored in the FA Cup against Arsenal, and also my friends at the golf club will never talk to me again because he's a member up there, which is Sir Trevor Brooking.
Oh yeah, lovely Sir Trevor. What a lovely man as well. Not just a great player, but
absolute gentleman. Yeah, I've had the honour to chat to him a couple of times, and just a real gent. Sort of quite quietly spoken, and just quietly spoken, I say nostalgia there with his fantastic header that he scored. Yeah. So
And it's,
I popped
I
him in.
think, and again, the types of players you obviously got the bookings and the sort of people like Devonshire, and you imagine, as you said, what they could do now on sort of the bowling green pitches of West, for the Premier
Yeah.
League. Whereas back in
Yeah.
the day, I mean, when we beat
Oh,
Chelsea in '86, it was like a mud
just a
bath,
quagmire.
and yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
exactly,
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's completely different, and even the not that I'm a footballer at all, but the football,
yeah,
the difference in the weight of the football and everything else, and just the whole setup. Yeah, but he's a special player, and obviously, what a man for the club. Just unbelievable. So
yeah, lovely guy.
I popped him in there. I might have too many forwards here, but
Don't
I've got
worry.
me 11th. Again, that I fully loved watching was Tony Cottee,
Oh, TC.
TC, who I understand he does. I've got to sort of start listening to a few more bits, which I want to do, but I believe he does a few bits, doesn't he, Tony? On
Yeah,
the
he does a few bits. Yeah, I mean
podcasts.
we've had Tony on a few times as well. I mean it's that again, sort of that generation are always very open to
There
speak
he is.
about. Yeah, he
Dagenham
is.
Motors. That's it.
Yeah,
Dagenham Motors. Yeah,
boomer
yeah.
and let's say he's a boomerang player as well, isn't he? Going away and coming back. I love a player
Coming
who's a
back.
boomerang. Same as
Yes,
Julian and stuff. But he's
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
top man. Top man. As I
Top
said,
man. Yeah, loved watching him. And
don't really get don't really get many goal scorers like that anymore now. Do you know what I mean? Sort of he was. I mean,
no,
small, diminutive, but clinical.
just find the net, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, someone like Palmer at Chelsea,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me,
maybe. Yeah,
I know I don't, but it seems to me as soon as he gets the ball, pretty much it's either on target or quite possibly in the back of the net.
yeah,
It seems quite natural at the goal scoring, but I think when you look back to the players we had, like when you look back at other teams with Alan Shearer and like Cottee and stuff like that, they see goal and they might just be in the right place, but it's in the net. And
yeah,
you could do with a bit more than that. I suppose Haaland of these days is the
yeah.
one. We was lucky enough to have players like Tony and that, and actually to see them play. So so I really did have a churn over early morning this
I got
morning.
into a team for you.
Have you managed to make it?
There we go.
Look at that.
That ain't a bad team. It's not the tallest up front, but don't matter.
No, that's true.
But we're playing tricky football. We're doing tiki-taka football, so you don't need to be.
Any heading. Yeah.
Don't need to be 6 foot, or 6'2", up front, Cotty and Bone up front. But yeah, that's all right.
We'd sneak under the radar. But
they literally would run under the players' legs.
Like a nutmeg between their legs. But I mean, I went more with the heart, and
that's it.
And rather than picking like a modern team from all the players. But yeah, there's something there special in each of those players for me, and obviously there's so many more I scribbled down as well. I've got Noble down there, James Collins, DeCanio, Carlton Cole. Just goes on.
Yeah, I've got a funny story about. When we interviewed David James, he put his 11. This was a while ago. This was, and he gave me his 11. I didn't think anything of it. I think he put like Defoe and Freddie Canute out front. The next day, he was filming at the club with a couple of other guys, Colton and Jack Mate, who's a YouTuber, and they were talking about, because they'd all been on this, they've all done this. Sure. And JMO went, I've just done Russ's show the other day, and they said, who did you pick? And he went, da. And then Colton went, didn't you play with DiCanio? And he went, fuck.
Well, I have got him on my sheet. He's on.
That's right. But you didn't play with him, Paul. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's true.
You had 50 years of players to work through. JMO only had a small amount of players, and he forgot about Paolo DiCanio. It was hilarious.
How could you forget him? I actually watched some of his. There's a little clip on YouTube. You can get anything on YouTube. The best goals from DiCanio, and the goal against the goal against Man United, obviously, and the goal at Wimbledon against Wimbledon. It was mid-air and hit that ball there. Well, what a player! But he must have been a tricky player to manage, I would have thought.
Yes, yeah. I remember we've had Harry on and stuff, and we've spoken to a lot of players about him during his time. And he did a night a couple of months ago. I think it was in the summer. We went to the Brentford Centre.
Yeah,
and it was him. It was a Paolo DiCanio night. I think Tony was hosting it. TC was hosting it, and I mean, it was quite funny because it was in mid-July, and it was about 800 40-year-old overweight men watch. So it was quite a sweaty environment. Let's be honest.
No air conditioning.
No air conditioning. TC. I think the last time I'd been to the Brentwood Centre was to see the Lightning family. That's how long Lighthouse family. That's how long it was ago. So TC had his jacket off, white shirt, almost wrung through his sweat. Bless him. Cat DiCanio, not a bead. Three-piece suit, not a bead. Cool as a cucumber.
Amazing.
And you listen to him talk, and you was thinking, "Oh, you love West Ham." You know, you can't fake it. You can't fake that.
No. His love for even a couple of things I've watched. His love for the club is there, as it is for many of like you said earlier, for a lot of the players. And it's great to you have to remind yourself actually and look back at some of these things because you know we've had so much history there, even in my bit of time following the club, and it's good nowadays. There's no excuse now because, like you said, you've got your YouTubes, you've got your podcasts and nights out and things like that, and it's good to reflect back to the times we've had and some of the players. But because I scribbled down that time we had Tevez that really kept us up. Would you agree? Kept us up. That
I think Carlos only turned.
Obviously, not just
it's
him,
true.
But,
I mean,
his influence. Yeah,
we had. I mean, when we had Yoshi Beno, you know, he was obviously part of that Great Escape group, and he said he was very honest. He went, "I don't know how we stayed up. He said, I don't know how we did it, but we just did it." And with Tevez as well. I mean, to be fair, if we're being hypercritical now, he probably only really turned up for about 6 or 7 games at the end of the season, but that's all we needed.
All we needed. He just, like you were saying earlier about Bonzi making runs, Declan Rice making runs, he just made those runs that made everybody else make things happen, and it just fortunately it all happened at the right time for us. So I think it
just clicked.
Just clicked. But it's joy to watch him for that period of time. But so this, as I say, all my books are out now. I've got all my books on my shelves now, so I'm
that's it. You're back in, Paul. Well, there's about 150 hours of ex-player interviews you can get through now on the West Ham network. So there we go. Plus a lot of golfers as well.
Yes.
We've got Billy Hall. We've had Billy Hawshaw on a few times.
Wow.
Friend of the channel. We've had Paul McGinley on, friend of the channel.
Top man. Ryder
Big
Cup
West Ham fan. Yeah, Ryder Cup's captain.
Yeah.
And great story about why he supported West Ham. It was because he was, obviously he's from Northern Ireland. It was a small, he was watching the 1975 FA Cup final in the village colour TV. So one person in the village had a colour TV and everyone watched it. Obviously Fulham were in black and white. He's seen black and white all his life on TV. But West Ham were claret and blue. He went, "Oh, I like that.
I like that." And that was it. That's the reason.
Yeah. Who else? Who else is West Ham? Molinari's a West Ham fan.
Wow. So what about Billy? How was Billy?
I love Billy.
He comes across as a great guy from the TV, you know.
Billy is such a nice guy. We've had him on a few bit. We've had him quite a bit actually. He's a good friend of the channel, and he only became a West Ham fan because he watched Green Street.
That's mad, isn't it? Yeah. His golf bag is the best golf bag you could ever have.
Yeah.
If you sport West Ham, obviously.
He's West Ham, yeah. Tottenham, it's a fucking shit bag.
That was a shit bag, yeah. That's
exactly.
Golf.
We had so the guy I do a channel with, Anton, he lives in Scotland and he lives just near Troon. So he went over. Yeah. So during when he won, Anton was over there and sort of text Bill and said keep an eye out, and they got a picture and stuff. Honestly,
fantastic!
Jeff's kiss is lovely.
Lovely part of the world up there. But yeah, no, it's good to see that support, and I feel quite honoured when you're mentioning all these names. For us to be talking, I'm thinking, well, it just shows you anything can happen in life.
It's like it's all fun and games. As I said, we've had people, you know, I like the fan chats because you can reminisce a lot more. Obviously, the players are fantastic, and you know you feel like a boy in a kinder candy shop. With the fans, you can reminisce over a longer period of time. So obviously,
true.
Particularly the modern players when they're 2 or 3 years, where you've got 50 years. Where I have,
it was. I mean, just quickly, I've been chatting to my dad about a couple of things to remind me, and we used to sit. He had a stereo that used to have on the legs. It's like probably about 3-4 foot long, and we used to sit next to that, listening to West Ham when we was playing in Europe because we couldn't get it on the TV. And we were both just sitting there with your ear, you know, cup of tea, listening. And it sort of brings it all back really. That it's not just about, you know, the football. It's about the whole memories and keeping the family thing going, you know, if possible. So
someone made we're starting a new sort of little series where we're sort of getting people to a bit like Desert Island Discs, but with games, football matches. And we were talking about the other day, and someone made a really good point. It's not even necessarily about the result, it's about the journey, and it's so true. And even from a football perspective, it's about the journey. So one guy picked the 1971 FA League Cup third round against Liverpool, but it's because it's the first time he was allowed to go to the game on his own, and you know, and it's not necessarily about the result, it's about the journey and the experience, and that's what football should be about. I mean, the trouble is, there we go. Look at that one.
Look, that was it. League Cup final. Sorry,
that was
final. Liverpool. Yeah. Wow.
But it's really interesting. And you've got and you've got these memories, and everyone's memories is just like of one game could be quite different from one to another based on their experiences and
exactly. You know. But I think. But as you say, even seeing like the pro golfers, and they're really out there. They're quite outspoken. You know, that's their team, and you look at all the other stuff that the actors are doing, buying football clubs in England, and there's a good future for football. You know, because everyone loves the sport. But
they certainly do.
And certainly do. Club.
Yeah. Paul, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. It's been lovely.
Likewise, pleasure to meet you, Ross. And so yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah. And as I said, make sure if you're on the TikTok, I almost sounded like my mother-in-law. Then if you're on the Facebook,
if you're on the Facebook TikTok, or the Instagram,
are you on the you face or the face tube?
Face tube.
Yeah, that was the one she said the other day. Face tube. I was like, okay. Fucking hell.
She doesn't need to worry.
No, she don't need to worry. She don't need to worry.
About all that
Go and check out Paul and his daughter. It's great fun, and he does a bit. I'm a bit of I like a bit of a cook. I love being a bit of cooking, and you do a bit of cooking as well, don't you? On the older occasionally.
I'm no chef, but I do like a bit of cooking. I tend to cook the dinners, and we're having a bit of fun with that. And I'm hoping people are managing to copy, and they're all right.
Because during lockdown, it's like I just started to learn. Actually, I really like baking, and we did a little mini series called "In Rust We Crust." So I did for blokes are like, okay, well this is how you keep your wife happy. Bake us some scones, or
do you tend to watch the Bake Off, Rust? Yeah.
Oh, I like every year I get the nudge from the daughter and the wife. You should apply, but I said I can only cook Victoria sponge and scones.
Oh yeah, well I can't even do. I don't even do the cakes, but
unless they're the first 2 weeks, I'm fucked. But anyway, but also we had so was it? When did Matt win? Was it last year or the year before? He's a West Ham fan. We did him on.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so bad. I know we talked to each other really well. Is it Matt? Did he win Baco a couple of years ago? Oh, it's going to really annoy me now.
Yeah, my girls they love it. I haven't really looked at the Bake Off, but they love that program. But
well, at the moment, obviously we've got Jamie in Strictly. Jamie, big West Ham fan. We've had him on, so he's doing well at Strictly, and Anton Ferdinand is going to be doing Dancing on Ice. So we could get the double. More silverware.
I mean, they're brave to do the dancing and the dancing on ice.
I've seen some of his training. He was at the game. He was at Rush Green last week, and he was showing me he'd recorded some stuff with him and his partner. Fair play to him. He's done, he's never done it before, and he looked all right. He's at Chelsea or something like that.
Oh, is he? Oh, at the ice rink there? Yeah, probably in Chelsea. Do you remember you're too young, I think, for the Grange Hill. Do you remember the guy that went on the ice? He was called Tucker.
Oh yeah, Todd Carthy, West Ham fan.
Yeah, do you remember? Is West Ham? Is he?
Yeah, Todd's West Ham. Yeah, there used to be. I would definitely remember at Upton Park. There was like a group. There was him, Nick Berry, and Bill, and obviously there's loads of guys from like other guys from EastEnders like Billy Fenwick and obviously Danny Dyer and Jamie. They're all West Ham. Jack, the guy who plays Jack Brannan, he's a West Ham fan, and there's a big core of them there. But I remember Upton Park, they used to always be there. So it used to be definitely used to be Perry, definitely used to be Todd. And Nick Berry and David Essex or something like that all together.
All all in the same little area.
All in the little area together, bless them.
All together, all the film stuff. But he actually skated off scene. I don't know if you remember
He
that.
did.
One.
Yeah, I
It was
remember that well.
Most hysterical thing I've ever seen. I thought it was superb. He should have won for that.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, I think I'll stick on normal ground, not ice.
Yeah, stick on normal ground.
Good luck with the Victoria sponges. But maybe we could do a cook together. You do the dessert, I'll do the main.
There's the collab that no one wanted for. There we go.
No one wants that. No, we'll go out for dinner.
Go out. Well, we'll get something different instead.
Get something
anyway.
We'll
get some pie and mashing. All right,
yes, mate. Definitely.
Thank
Lovely
you very, very
you.
much. You too, Paul. I'm going to kick you out, so don't worry, man. And I'll finish.
Thanks for asking us on.
See you soon, man. Take care.
See you.
And that was Paul. What a lovely fella. So don't forget, it's Puwtok on TikTok. It's about 750,000 other people. Lovely guy, lovely chat as well. As I said, we're working on hopefully some really good names coming up. Even maybe towards the end of the season as well. I think you'll enjoy him. Players and celebrity fans as well. So anyway, make sure you keep an eye on the channel. Tomorrow we'll have all the fun of the fair in terms of the morning show, all that type of stuff. And until next time, take care, my friends. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and let's be having you. Don't know why I said that. Take care. Much love.